Tell me the truth, honey. Am I a snob?
About her books and her tea.
As I'm sure you could have guessed, that was my husband that made a guest appearance at the beginning of this video. He definitely probably thinks I'm a little bit of a book snob. But let's go through the questions and see if I actually am a book snob. So this tag was created by That Reading Guy, and I was tagged by the wonderful duo at Book Buds. So check out their channels, give them a lot of love. And here we go. The first question, what is your definition of book snobbery? I think maybe I would define it as not being willing to give anything out of your normal genre or reading taste a chance at all. That's what I think of. Number 2, is there a genre or type of book you would never consider reading? I would never read like an erotica book under any circumstances whatsoever. There's nothing you could do to convince me unless it was like, I will murder your whole family if you do not read this book. Number 3, does erotica count as literature? I think literature in a lot of ways is in the eye of the beholder, but I personally wouldn't count it as literature, but I think that is up to the individual to decide for themselves. Number 4, is it better to read classic books than popular bestsellers? Not necessarily. I think there can be a lot more value sometimes from classic literature that stood the test of time. I have read classics that I personally, consider for myself almost like junk. They're not that worthwhile for me, but there are so many classics that have changed my life. But I think that a bestseller can be excellent as well. It's not what I tend to gravitate towards, but if someone is reading and it's making an impact in their life, I think that is absolutely wonderful. And I've enjoyed many bestsellers over the years. Number 5, have you ever bragged about reading a classic in order to sound smart? I probably have. I'm not perfect. Number 6, do audiobooks count as reading? What about comic books or graphic novels? I think they are all very valid forms of reading in my personal opinion. 7, have you ever looked down on someone for reading a popular fluff book? So one that has little substance to it. For example, a self-help book or a celebrity memoir. No, I really haven't, but there are times when there are self-help books that I almost feel to be dangerous in their advice. And I can't think of any specific examples at this very moment, but if it was someone close to me, I might give my opinion on that. But no, I think that people read what they like and they should enjoy it. They read what has value to them. 8, have you ever been the recipient of someone else's snobbery? Not really, although when I was like a young mom and I just had my daughter, I was reading a lot of Cassandra Clare YA. Now, I would caution you to be careful of that now because there are some open door scenes in her books. So if I do read them, I page flip. But I had a friend of ours, myself and his wife were reading these books, and he would tease us about it. And I found recently, like a few years ago, I was going through my books, and through one of the Shadowhunter books, he put a note in there that, and it's so funny because he was much younger then, and his career has done really well, that Zach Braff should play the evil character in those books. So I've been made fun of a little bit, but I've never been really shamed. Would you ever be friends with a snob? Maybe you already are. Listen, I am a homeschool mom, and I have other friends that are definitely what some people would consider literature snobs in that circle that I've met over the years. For the most part, not. But yes, I definitely can be friends with a snob. It doesn't bother me if someone is very specific in their reading taste and will only touch the classics. Yeah, I can still be friends with a book snob for sure. And then, are people who don't read less sophisticated than those who do? And I would say, as far as that goes, that a lot of times I think people who don't read can be less sophisticated than those who do. But I think sophistication comes from life experience. So there are many people that have a lot of life experience that I don't, that may not be readers, that are much more sophisticated than myself. So I definitely think you don't necessarily absolutely have to be a reader to be sophisticated, but I think reading can help with your sophistication level. Measure yourself based on your answers to the previous 10 questions. Would you qualify as a book snob? I don't think I am, because I was open-minded in many of my answers, but I'm definitely maybe snobbish towards the erotica genre, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to tag Courtney Reed's In Search of Wonder, a novel idea, and Believe in Yourself. So I can't say her name without saying believe in yourself. Like believe in yourself. So I hope you guys read a lot, and it's okay to be a little bit of a book snob if you need to be. Bye-bye.